Hello students, in today's class we are going to learn the molecular orbital theory. Molecular orbital theory was developed by Hunts and Mulliken in the year 1932, and the silent features of this theory are: the electrons in the molecule are present in various molecular orbitals, as the electrons of atom are present in various atomic orbitals. Just as we know that atomic orbitals are present, like that only molecular orbitals are also present, in which electrons are available. The atomic orbitals of comparable energy and proper symmetry combine to form molecular orbitals. This point, if you consider, students, s orbital and s orbital will be overlapping to form a molecular orbital. Similarly, a 2px will overlap with that of what, 2px, and at the same time a 2px orbital will not be overlapping with the 2pz orbital. So 2px and 2pz, which are having different symmetry, but here we are mentioning it as proper symmetry. So therefore atomic orbitals of comparable energy and proper symmetry combine to form molecular orbitals. Third point, when an electron in an atomic orbital is influenced by one nucleus. Okay, we know that in case of atomic orbital, an electron is influenced by only one nucleus, but in case of molecular orbitals, it is influenced by two or more nuclei depending upon the number of atoms in the molecule, right? Thus we can say that atomic orbital is monocentric. It means it is centered toward only one nucleus, but whereas in the case of molecular orbital, molecular orbitals are polycentric. Fine, students. The fourth point is the number of molecular orbital formed is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. This point is very easy and very important. The number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals, right? So when two atomic orbitals combine, the two molecular orbitals are formed. One is known as bonding molecular orbital, abbreviated as BMO, right? While the other is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital, and it is abbreviated as ABMO, right? This concept is very easy, sir. Sorry, students, right? Now, the bonding molecular orbital has lower energy. The bonding molecular orbital has lower energy and hence greater stability than the corresponding anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so let us have the diagram here. Okay, so let me make you what very clear. Okay, now here is the diagram available for you people. Okay, now just see that. Okay, we'll come back to this. Right now, this is the diagram. Here you can see the bonding orbital which is having lower energy than that of atomic orbital. This is in fact energy level diagram of a molecular orbital, right? So here you can see the increasing energy, and here there is an atomic orbital. Okay, and here also there is an atomic orbital. So two atomic orbitals are overlapping. This is called as a bonding molecular orbital, and this is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so anti-bonding molecular orbital are present up in the sense they're having higher energy, and here it is present in the case of lower case. Okay, so these are bonding orbital which are having lower energy. I hope you understood, students, the part which I was saying here. The bonding molecular orbital has lower energy and hence greater stability than the corresponding anti-bonding molecular orbital. Fine. Just like the electron probability distribution around the nucleus in an atom is given by atomic orbital, in a similar manner the electron probability distribution around a group of nuclei in a molecule is given by molecular orbital. Very simple it is, right? And the molecular orbitals like atomic orbitals, what is that? The molecular orbitals like atomic orbitals are filled in accordance with the Aufbau principle, obeying Pauli's exclusion principle and that of Hund's rule. Okay, now let us try to understand what are these Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule. Already I've learnt in atomic structure, but yet it will be what useful for us to understand, right? So here I am having with you two diagrams. One is with respect to, here you can see this is Aufbau principle. Aufbau principle says that filling up of electron takes place with the increasing order of their energy. Initially the electron enters into 1s orbital, right? After 1s it enters into 2s orbital, then afterwards 2p, and then followed by 3s. After 3s it enters into 3p, and then followed by 4s. After 4s it enters into 3d, then into 4p, and then into 5s. Okay, and in the similar manner it goes on, adding of electrons in different atomic orbitals. Okay, that is with respect to Aufbau principle, and the term Aufbau is nothing but filling up, right? And here we are having the molecular orbital diagram. Okay, it is an empty molecular orbital diagram. Okay, just a simple representation. Okay, so this is the energy along the y-axis. Okay, and here it is written as 1s atomic orbital. Okay, it means that here it is with respect to hydrogen, because hydrogen is having what one electron, and that you can see here. Okay, it is written as one electron. Okay, and that is atomic orbital. Similarly, on other part also there is another atom that is also hydrogen, which is having one electron, which is present in 1s orbital. So here we are writing atomic orbital, here also we are writing atomic orbital. So these two electrons, I hope you can see, this is one electron here and this is another electron here. Okay, when they are involved in what overlapping, first it results what here, that is bonding molecular orbital. Okay, that is bonding molecular orbital. Fine. So therefore the two electrons are occupied here with their opposite spins here. Okay, so that will be, one will be in this direction and other will be in this direction. So this forms what a bonding molecular orbital. The above space here there is empty. Actually here we have to write it as what a anti-bonding molecular orbital. Is it clear, students? And you can ask me what is this now. This is called as a sigma bonding. Okay, but whereas this is called as a sigma star for anti-bonding molecular orbital, but whereas only sigma it means for bonding molecular orbital, right? So this is a basic diagram for molecular orbital. Next we will have what Hund's rule as well as Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle states that if there are two electrons occupying the same orbital, okay, if there are two electrons occupying the same orbital, then the two electrons must be of opposite spins so as to stay in the water ground state, right? Now let us concentrate here. Okay, you can see that here 1s2 orbital. Okay, in case of 1s2 orbital, the two electrons are having what opposite spin. The two electrons are having what opposite spin. Okay, then only it is called as what Pauli's exclusion principle. But whereas in the case of 2s2 orbital, you can see that both the electrons are having what same spin, isn't it? So under such conditions, the electrons occupying the same orbital, if at all if they are having what same spin, then it is not possible. So there is a need for us to understand that two electrons occupying the same orbital, then the two electrons must be of opposite spin so as to be present in the water ground state. Okay, that was with respect to Pauli's exclusion principle. And coming back to Hund's rule here, pairing up of electron takes place unless and until all the available orbitals are completely half filled. Okay, that is the importance of what Hund's rule. So here you can see, after in the example with respect to A, 1s is already filled now. Next comes with respect to 2s, and that is what the correct method. Okay, and similarly in the case of B, after 2s filling, okay, after 2s filling with opposite spins, okay, first one is like this, then followed by what opposite spin. Okay, and the next one either it can be downward spin or upward spin. So if this is a downward spin, if this is downward spin, then the next one also should be in the form of what downward spin only, then again the same one, that is downward spin only. Now this is completely half filled. Okay, completely half filled, where all the three electrons are having their spin downwards. Then I have to fill for the next electron, then the next electron in the form of what upward spin, and in the next pairing it will take place in upward spin, and the next also pairing takes place in upward spin. I hope you understood this, students, right? So if you see the next example here with respect to what this is C, we write it as what incorrect here. Okay, can you see, after 2s 2p is going to fill, the first electron is having spin in the upward direction, okay, and the next electron must had been spin in upward direction, but here it has given in downward direction, so this is called as incorrect. Okay, the spin of the second electron depends on the spin of the first electron, even though they are in what they are not in the same orbital. So the pairing takes place unless and until all the available orbitals are completely half filled with their spins what in the same direction, right? And if you see the fourth, that is what D, you can see now, so this is the first electron and this is the second electron with the spin in the same direction. Third electron also must be filled into the same direction. Now again the same thing, okay, that is what all the available orbitals are completely half filled with their spin in the same direction, and then pairing takes place where here I can write one electron with its spin downwards, and pairing takes place in this 2p y orbital which is again in downwards, and similarly it will be again in what downward. This is called as what Hund's rule. All we can say that pairing up of electron takes place unless and until all the available orbitals are completely half filled. Is it clear, students? Now let us try to understand formation of molecular orbitals with respect to linear combination of atomic orbitals. Okay, linear combination of atomic orbitals, right? Now the first point, according to wave mechanics, the atomic orbitals can be expressed by wave functions which is called as a psi. So this is what a Greek symbol called as what a psi. Okay, it is written in this manner and we pronounce it as what a psi. Is it clear? If it is only one atomic orbital which is having only one wave function, it is called as psi, but here it is apostrophe what s, it means what various wave functions will be available with atomic orbitals, right, which represent the amplitude of the electron waves, which represent the amplitude of the electron waves. Now suppose earlier we have learnt in our atomic structure, centrally we are having the nucleus, and surrounding that electron will be water revolving. Okay, we just write one circle, okay, to show that what electron is revolving, but this is nothing but what the three-dimensional region, okay, or the space in which the electron, the probability of finding the electron will be maximum, but in this case the electron will be moving in this direction, in this manner. Okay, so this is called as what the wave function of the electron. Okay, and if I write that wave with respect to this direction like this, okay, if I write it like this, now this I call it as what amplitude. Okay, that is what the energy of that what electron. Okay, this is called as what amplitude. Okay, so here I mention which represents the amplitude of the electron waves. These are obtained from the solution of what Schrodinger wave equation, right? Now however, since it cannot be solved for any system containing more than one electron, okay, now remember this, okay, it cannot be solved for any system containing more than one electron, so therefore molecular orbitals which are one electron wave function for molecules are difficult to obtain directly from the solution of what Schrodinger wave equation, right? To overcome this problem, an approximate method known as linear combination of atomic orbitals, abbreviated as LCAO, linear combination of atomic orbitals, has been adopted, and according to wave mechanics, the atomic orbitals can be expressed as wave functions simply represented as psi, which represent the amplitude of the electron waves. Fine, students? Okay, now already I have told you, it has been said that the method adopted is a linear combination of atomic orbitals. Let us apply this method to the homonuclear diatomic hydrogen molecule. Consider the hydrogen molecule consisting of two atoms. Okay, we know that hydrogen molecule, we write it as H2. In that, two atoms of hydrogen are there. One atom is called as A and other one is called as what, B, right? Each hydrogen atom in the ground state has one electron in oneness orbital. We know that, right? One electron in oneness orbital. The atomic orbitals of these atoms, may be represented by the wave function. Okay, So one will be psi of A, other will be psi of B, right? Since I was saying here two hydrogen atoms are there, okay? So one hydrogen atom will be having one wave function abbreviated as psi of A, and similarly other hydrogen atom will be abbreviated as psi of B. Mathematically, the formation of molecular orbitals may be described by linear combination of atomic orbitals that can take place by addition. Now see, this is very important, that can take place by addition and by subtraction of wave functions of individual atomic orbitals as shown below. Okay, very simple it is. Let us try to understand. Now see here, so here we are having psi of MO. Psi is nothing but what, a wave function where a molecular orbital is formed. Okay, if molecular orbital is formed, then I say that what, it can be psi of A and psi of B. Either it can be addition or it can be what, subtraction, right? Now therefore the two molecular orbitals, which are those two molecular orbitals, that is sigma and sigma star. Remember, sigma star is anti-bonding. Remember students, okay, sigma star is anti-bonding, sigma is bonding, right? If I speak of bonding, then bonding molecular orbital is formed by addition of two wave function, which are those psi of A and that of psi of B, right? I repeat it once again, sigma bond, not sigma bond, okay, sigma bonding molecular orbital, if at all if we are speaking, then it is formed by the addition of the two wave functions psi of A and psi of B. And if at all if we are speaking of anti-bonding, okay, anti-bonding molecular orbital, then it is sigma star, and sigma star is nothing but a subtraction of two atomic wave functions. Is it clear now students? So this diagram already I have told you here, okay. So once again if I just represent here, so this is the energy level, okay, and suppose if I speak of here 1s orbital, and I will write it in this manner, okay, and again you can see that I will write here, okay. So here I will call it as a bonding molecular orbital. Here I write it as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Anti-bonding molecular orbital are represented by sigma star, and sigma star is nothing but psi of A minus psi of B, and bonding molecular orbital is represented by sigma, that is equal to psi of A plus psi of B. You have to remember, bonding molecular orbitals are formed by addition, but whereas anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed by subtraction of what, wave functions, right? So here if I write it as one electron, and I can say that it is 1s orbital, here also I can write one electron, and that is of 1s orbital. So this part whole represents one hydrogen atom, and this represents another hydrogen atom. So here I call it as a psi of A, and here I call it as psi of B. Now when the two atomic orbitals are there, and if they are involving in molecular orbitals, so both the electrons from here, okay, I will change the coloration so that it becomes much more clear. So right now, so this one electron and this one electron both will be present in bonding molecular orbital with their spins in opposite direction. So therefore this results in bonding molecular orbital, which is much more stable. But whereas now sigma star will be there, okay, but anti-bonding molecule will be there, but in this nothing will be there. Why? Because only electrons were two, so those are present in bonding molecular orbital. If there is a present in bonding molecular orbital, it is having what, lower energy, and a molecule is what, much more stable. Is it clear students? Now here you can see the molecular orbital sigma formed by the addition of atomic orbital is called bonding molecular orbital. You might get 1 mark question here, define bonding molecular orbital, right? While the molecular orbital sigma star is formed by the subtraction of atomic orbital and is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Is it clear students? Concepts are very simple in this. All you have to just understand bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital. Anti-bonding molecular orbital is formed by the subtraction of atomic orbitals, but whereas bonding molecular orbitals are formed by the addition of atomic orbitals. Is it clear students? Now let us try to understand a little bit of extra information. Qualitatively, the formation of a molecular orbital can be understood in terms of constructive or destructive interference. See that word, inter, not intra. Inter means between, right? Interference of the electron waves of the combining atoms. Electron waves, I was speaking of hydrogen, so I will write one hydrogen atom whose wave function is psi of A, and there is another hydrogen atom whose wave function is psi of B. Now if I speak of constructive in the sense it is addition. Now this is one wave of H of psi of A, right? Psi of A it is. If this psi of A, if at all, if it is having a constructive interference with psi of B, then constructive interference, okay, it will be on this only. That is called as constructive interference. I hope you are understanding, students. It means that the wave function of one hydrogen atom is having a constructive interference with another hydrogen atom which is having what a wave function psi of B, right? So in the formation of bonding molecular orbital, the two electron waves of the bonding atoms reinforce. So here what we can see, we have seen that the two wave functions are what reinforced each other due to constructive interference. Is it clear? Now if at all the psi of A of one hydrogen atom was like this, and the psi of B of the other atom which was not involved in constructive interference, if it was having the interference in this manner, then it is called as destructive interference. Then it is called as what? Destructive interference. So therefore in that time there is a formation of anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Okay, in that time what is forming? Anti-bonding molecular orbitals, right? The electron waves cancel each other due to destructive interference. Okay, here you can see already it has been shown that, okay, so this blue color which was psi of B, and the red color wave that was with respect to psi of A, okay, and these two wave functions had a destructive interference, due to which we can say that what the electron waves cancel each other due to destructive interference. As a result, the electron density in bonding molecular orbital is located between the nuclei of the bonded atoms. Okay, this part I will be including with one more slide, students, so that you'll come to know that the node and what a nodal plane, right? I repeat it once again. As a result, when during destructive interference the electron density in bonding molecular orbital is located between the nuclei of bonded atoms, because of which the repulsion between the nuclei is very less. Okay, while in the case of anti-bonding molecular orbital, most of the electron density is located away from the space between the nuclei, right? And in fact there is a nodal plane on which the electron density is 0. I repeat it once again, there is a nodal plane on which the electron density is 0 between the nuclei, and hence the repulsion between the nuclei is high. With respect to diagram, when I speak of what the molecular orbitals of what pi bonding, I will be including this part, students. What is that? In fact there is a nodal plane between the nuclei, and hence the repulsion between the nuclei is high, right? Electrons placed in bonding molecular orbital tend to hold the nuclei together and stabilize a molecule. So it means that whenever electrons are present in bonding molecular orbital, the molecule will be stabilized. Therefore, bonding molecular orbital always possesses lower energy than the either of the atomic orbitals that have been combined to form it, right? In contrast, the electron placed in anti-bonding molecular orbitals destabilize the molecule. This is because the mutual repulsion of electrons in this orbital is more than the attraction between the electrons and the nuclei, which causes a net increase in the energy. I hope you understood, students. So here you can see the energy level diagram with respect to molecular orbital theory. So this is psi and this is this is a sigma bonding molecular orbital, and this is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Energy of the bonding molecular orbital will be less, so it will be much more stable, and the energy of anti-bonding molecular orbitals is high, and it is what less stable. Okay, I'm sorry, this will be more stable and this will be what less stable, and the remaining part will be continued in the next video. Thank you.